The Kitmen! Alright, lads, what's the crack? How's it going? I'm also Kev from the Kitmen, and
My name is Kevin also.
right, as we said, we're the Kitmen. We've been away for the last couple of weeks. But we're back, getting ready for this international break. Shite. Talking about injuries, which well, the international break has benefited us a little bit with Trent's injury, really, Kev, isn't it? Kind of
Yeah.
eating into most of that, along with the FA Cup. So he's supposed to be out for a period of 3 to 4 weeks. So even if he misses the Watford game, he's back for City, which is
Yeah,
good.
which is good, which is
Yeah,
good. No, I'm kind of I don't usually like international breaks, and I know we were doing really well before this one came along, but I don't know. I just maybe I'm tired, but I just feel like it's come at a good point just to take
it
a
is.
break from the domestic football. Let the lads go off do their international stuff. Hopefully nobody comes back with any major injuries and come back and double down and refocus then for the final furlong in the season while we're chasing all in front of us.
Absolutely. It's just that no, but I think to be honest with you, we have been doing well and we won game after game after game. But I did see in the last couple of weeks before this break that we were kind of
Mm,
in the back foot, but we looked like we needed a small bit of a
yeah,
reset just to kind of push on for those last few games. There's a
yeah,
lot of trophies to play for, a lot of games. You don't want to mentally catch up with us more than physically, because that's where it causes
mm,
most of the physical damage. Uh, so you're absolutely right there. I think this has come at the perfect time. I think we need a reboot. Whether that helps the likes of City and any of those, I don't know. I don't care. All I know is that us after reboot and us fresh and ready to go, I'd be worried about us more than anybody else
yeah,
on the planet.
100%.
You know.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, that's
No,
it.
no, I'd agree with that. I think as well, like you made a good point about, I mean, you've no control over injuries and things like that, but I think the thing that happened to Trent, obviously, I prefer for him now to be out while England are doing
Yeah,
whatever and he doesn't have to commit to that. He can recover
yeah.
and come back to us. As you highlight already, hopefully before the City game at the very least, if not the Watford one before that. I think there was a few worries about the injury when it initially happened, but as it has transpired, it's not as bad as what they thought. So again, that's good news for us, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So another good thing as well is the they seem to be kind of saying it. Well, the Liverpool players seem to be saying that, especially Keda. Keda has immediately said, "I'm not going playing international.
International.
I've got an, I've got." No, he didn't say I'm not playing for the international team. He just says that
Mm,
I've got a, I'm a bit, I'm a bit off. Or some
yeah.
people said they've got COVID. Some people said, Thiago wasn't called up, but apparently he's got it, and that dude just can't stop getting COVID for some reason. And and lately I've seen to notice this always around international windows. So,
Well,
which is
I think there's an opportunity here, right? And it's probably an opportunity that a lot of us, even the most hopeful Liverpool supporters, didn't see coming. And that's the quadruple.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
I think this could be something special. No, it might not either. But look, you have to aim for that when it's within reach. I suppose
yeah.
it's never happened before. I'd say the odds are massive. But look, you have to aim for it. You know, we've one cup in the bag already. We're very close in the league. We've some important games coming up there. We're already into the semi-finals of the FA Cup without
Yeah,
having to do too much, really.
yeah.
And we've got a very nice draw in the Champions League.
That's the next point I want to is about the Champions League, the draw that we got there. Like
Mm,
my hopeful draw, I'll be honest with you, hit the absolute nail on the head of the way I wanted it to
100%.
go. I wanted either Villarreal and Benfica
Mm,
preferably, and
yeah.
then hopefully in the other one we get Villarreal or Bayern Munich, because I just think that when we play uh a team like us, Bayern Munich can't really handle. We found that
Mm,
out. They had a better team when we beat them a couple of seasons ago to go and win the
yeah.
Champions League. But no, there's no doubt that they're an animal when they're in Europe. There's no doubt that they're an animal in the German league, but the
Yeah.
German league is not in comparison to what we do in the Premier League.
Yeah.
The power and levels of teams are just vast.
Well,
The
I
next
think I
the
think
next
competitively it's
yeah,
not the
it's
same.
not the same.
Definitely, I think you're
Yeah,
right there.
it's better than the French league, but
Mm,
it's pretty much, yeah, and it's similar to the Italian league in a way. They're all, there's a couple of handy teams there, and the rest are kind of dominant. You
yeah.
could say that about the Premier League this kind of season around, but I just think that Liverpool and Manchester City are just two different kind of monsters, and I
Mm,
think that
mm,
any of
mm.
the other teams on their day would be topping a German
Any other
league,
league. Yeah.
or that's the point, you know. So even though they're way below,
Well,
I said,
Chelsea would win most other leagues, wouldn't
oh
they?
yeah, they would have won all. Yeah, they would have
Mm.
won. You know, they definitely would have won the French league. Would have won the German league,
Yeah.
no problem. You know, so that will just tell you that the league that they're in and the opposition that's there is the issue. So
Mm.
like there was people saying that there was a danger recently of the league kind of turning into like a Scottish league where it's only like two teams battling and whatnot. But it's not. It's just, you know, teams take a reset button and they do stuff, and other teams get
Mm.
stronger at that period of time. No, we brought in a really good manager in Klopp. We turned
Yeah.
around our fortunes. It wasn't money that did it for us. There was no investment. It was investment from selling is what made
Yeah.
us. It's the standards that Klopp brought in and the setup that he made it there. The other way around, now that everybody's getting like Chelsea getting investigated left, right, and centre because of corrupt deals. You know,
Mm.
City are now on the verge of that. Newcastle are going to be watched like a hawk with all that kind of stuff. Whereas everything that we've done is above and board, but we don't have other companies within our club sponsoring the club, like Emirates
Yeah.
sponsor, you know. So it's wash money. We were talking about this before. It's all wash
Mm.
money. So and it's a way of investing more money into your club, personally. Without
Whitewashing money.
yeah, pretty much. And that's the way it is. No, that's all. That's going to be under absolute scrutiny, or it's going to get paid off. One is
Yeah.
the other, you know, because
Yeah.
it's the FA we're talking about here in the Premier League, you know. So
Mm.
those things are going to happen. One of the other is going to happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, but back to the Champions League. We got Benfica. The next route is Bayern Munich and Villarreal, and that to me is a really good pathway to the final.
Yes, I
Whereas
agree.
Chelsea have got Real Madrid. Now I know whatever happened with Real Madrid last week losing to Barcelona. I think Barcelona just turned
Mm.
it on for one game, and I think Real Madrid have been really strong throughout the season.
Mm.
I I know Chelsea knocked them out last season, but I think there's a good chance this season that Real Madrid, because it's just the way Chelsea are,
It's their
because
European pedigree as well, isn't it? It
yeah,
comes into play, their history and things like that, you know?
like there's really big potential now for being an all English final again for
Yes,
3 years
yes,
in a
yes.
row. You know,
Yeah.
and that'll just tell you like how dominant the English league is. If anybody's don't know this,
Mm-hmm.
saying anything about Europe, it's how dominant the English league is. So the I like at the end of the day, I would take it probably Atletico again in the final. Just I know they've got shithousery, but I know we've beaten them twice this season. No matter
Mm.
how much shithousery they play, they're not used to these European Cup finals. You would take them out of all of them probably.
Yeah.
Real Madrid are a different animal when they get into a final, but
Mm.
can they still do it against? Like we were the better team when they beat us 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
It was, you
Couple
know,
of years ago,
yeah,
yeah.
the carriers issues. Like we were on top of them, we were dominating the game. They had to take out Salah
Mm-hmm.
to do anything, you know, because they couldn't handle his pace. So within minutes of the game starting, Salah was gone out of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that
yeah.
just tells you straight away what the game plan was. So for me, I think we've learned our lesson from them. We went on to win it from since then. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we did get knocked out by Atletico Madrid last season. It was Real Madrid last season.
That was the year of COVID when that started there
That's
as well.
yeah.
Atletico knocked us out, yeah.
Yeah. So and yeah, that was when they start, and then for the last season. So look, I just think that we proved a point against Atletico that we're by far the better side since they beat us last time round, and
Mm-hmm.
um I think we can take them in the final, no problem. Um, I would still take any of the other ones. I wouldn't fear them if I
Yeah,
got them in the
yeah.
final because Pep tends to over Pep and
Mm.
capitulate when it comes to finals and stuff like that. With Man City, I don't know what it is about Barcelona. He was able to do with Barcelona, but they were a
He had
different breed.
Messi.
Yeah, he had Messi, and it was a different breed of monster. Uh, Messi, Xavi, Iniesta, you know all of these
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
players that played. That was a different monster entirely.
Arguably the greatest team ever, 2010 around that direction. You know,
Yeah,
that Barcelona team.
I think
Very, very, very
it's
hard to
unbelievable. So the whole model of Spain was taken
was
off. That
based on that.
Barcelona was
Yeah,
based
yeah.
on that, you know. So that'll just show you. But yeah, look, we got arguably the best run to come in for the Champions League. Atletico, you know, I think Atletico can do City over with their shithousery.
I think Atletico are like the Wimbledon of the
Mm,
Champions League.
yeah,
When Wimbledon were at their peak in the
yeah,
1980s, late
yeah.
80s with Vinnie Jones and Dennis Wise and all of these lads, that's what
That Wimbledon,
Atletico Madrid
Wimbledon,
remind me of.
that Wimbledon team beat us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
1988.
yeah, 88 final.
Is it Hugo Sanchez or Laurie Sanchez?
Yeah,
Sorry, Laurie
yeah,
Sanchez or Hugo
yeah.
Sanchez played for Madrid. Yeah, no, but
Yeah,
look, they did, and they were a fantastic team, and they were good at what they did. And I think Atletico are obviously like levels and levels and levels above that. But
yeah.
just in terms of Champions League standard, They do remind me of them in some of the tactics that they employ,
Yeah.
the way the manager is, the way they just, as you said, the
Oh,
shithousery is.
he's just a
They're
prick.
brilliant at it.
He's
Yeah,
just
he
a
is.
prick.
But you know what?
Just
If he was my manager, you'd be like, fucking
yeah,
fair play. Like, do you know what I mean? He's
he's
doing what he needs to do.
he's the Suarez of management, isn't he?
He is, yeah, absolutely.
That's what that's the
Absolutely.
only way I can think of him. Like like
Yeah.
he was meant to be up for the United job, and they were belting him with bottles and sandwiches and everything as he was leaving. I don't even know what he did. Is it just the way he celebrated, or
It's the
I
way
just
he
seen him
is,
legging
isn't
it
it?
down the pathway where people were just slapping him with stuff, and he's like, like
Yeah.
he just,
He loves it. He loves
yeah, he
it. He
loves
loves
it,
all
man.
that.
You know,
Yeah.
so look, Simeone is he's a breath of fresh air in the game when it comes to not giving a fuck. You
Yeah.
know,
He's a
so
character.
he
He's a
is a
character.
character. Yeah, we give him that. You know, but look, Bayern Munich is the more likely potential suitor
Mm.
for us to get past Benfica. I don't want to disrespect Benfica, but we should
Yeah.
be getting past them.
Yeah.
And we need to do it in the first leg fast,
Absolutely.
and then we've City straight afterwards, and then we can field. If we can do it properly against Benfica, kind of like we did to Roma a few years ago.
Yeah. Take it easy then in the second leg
Take it
almost.
easy a bit in the second leg, and ease it off, preparing for that cup semi-final against City.
Yeah.
And then then we have United and Everton, which they have their own problems really coming into
Huge
those
games though.
They're
Huge
big,
games,
big for them. Champions League spots and
Yeah.
surviving Europe, but both at Anfield.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Which is great.
that's the thing about that, it's both at Anfield. So even heading into that FA Cup semi-final thing, I don't know what they're going to do about the venue. Are they still going to have it in Wembley? They can't do it at
I
Old
don't
Trafford because they're
know.
playing that weekend.
They haven't made a decision yet, but obviously there's works going on the railroad tracks heading to London or whatever way it works over there.
Yeah.
Apparently they've been in the pipeline since 2019, so like it's been signposted for a long time that this has been coming. Obviously, they have no control over the fact that two clubs from the Northwest are now in the semi-final of the FA Cup. What can you do? I suppose a decision will be made. If they were going to play it elsewhere, I don't know,
Villa
where would you
Park.
go? Would it be like Cardiff or something like that?
It could,
Would
yeah.
that suit both those teams?
They both
I
did.
think for the FA, it's a money thing, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
They need the semi-finals to be played at Wembley because it's a big money maker.
Well,
basically for them.
they still owe 300 and something million in debt
Yeah.
for the building of the new Wembley, and
Mm.
all of these. The fact that's the reason why they moved the semi-finals
That's
from
right.
neutral venues to Wembley to have three cups or three stages of the cup basically played there.
Yeah.
When everybody preferred it being the old way, you would just go to a neutral ground.
Go to
you
Villa
would take,
Park or whatever.
the local town would take in the money and see the benefit of that. And places like Villa Park and things like that were like standard to go to these kind of games. So
100%, yeah.
because you used to have, I think, another way Newcastle and Sunderland used to go to Middlesbrough or vice versa, and all these kind. You'd have it in between that because a lot of teams in the north were always playing against the south. So Villa Park was like the logical place to go to between both to get a game. Now you got teams up in the northeast that are playing away. So Villa Park might be as logical. Old Trafford would have been the first logical place. To play, but
I think Old Trafford probably would be the best one, considering the size of it, its location, everything else.
They're playing though that weekend at home.
Oh, are they?
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Okay.
you play two games in the one,
Yeah.
At the weekend.
Yeah. So maybe Cardiff or
Cardiff would be.
Goddess.
Or the people would just say, look, they were saying that on Talksport the other night. I watched is it Ben Jordan? He was saying
Simon
Jordan. But he kind of makes sense a lot of the time when he's talking because he's been in the game.
Of course,
bit,
as a chairman, yeah.
So he was just saying, like, logical sense would be that. But you think of it this way: a lot of people complain that they can't get done by train, which is like 15,000 out of the 60-odd thousand that are going to be coming down from each side. And he says, right, so that's a percentage. But if you were talking about the pandemic a couple of years ago and people were offered to come down but they couldn't come by train, that they'd bite an arm and a leg. And then there was Liverpool Sport on saying, all right, mate, we'd fucking walk down, we'd walk down the back, So it was so funny the way he said it. Because he was just like, Liverpool fans, like, we're going to walk down, but it's just that, it shouldn't have to be that way. So why wouldn't they like push it back a bit just an extra weekend or do something like that? I don't know what way they're going to do it. But you're talking, I mean, that's an extra 150 coaches to get these people down, so where are they going to bring that from? Or how are they going to do that?
Look, I think whatever happens, wherever it's played on, wherever it is, the stadium's going to be full anyway. Yeah. Like, people will find their way. Like, they'll drive down, they'll get buses down, they'll figure it out one way or the other, but it is a lot of people coming from that part of the UK to get to London all at the
Yeah.
one time without any trains, I suppose. So it probably will be troublesome, but it'll be full. And the match will go on one way or the other, I'm not sure about moving fixtures in terms of dates. I think that'll be difficult considering the amount of stuff
The season's
that
gone
both
right down.
Liverpool and City are going to be doing over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, the basic domestic season's gone right down to the end of May now, when it used to be around the start of May. It's gone on an
Yeah.
extra couple of weeks now, again, especially with the winter break and all that kind of stuff
Mm.
happening, So you've the FA Cup final to contend with. There used to be a point where the FA Cup final used to finish after the season. It used to come like a
After
week after the
everything, yeah.
season, and then be the week before the Champions League, and out to the point
Yeah.
where they're coming up that all the season ends, FA Cup, Champions League. That could be even happening beforehand, the way fixtures are going,
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
our fixture with Aston Villa has been moved now because of the game with City in that. So that'll probably move an extra couple of weeks down, maybe early May. So it could be coming into the fact that within a period of 2 weeks, Steven Gerrard's Aston Villa could decide where this title is going. And Wolves has been moved for City, and we've got this is the weird thing. At the same
We've
time,
Wolves as well, don't we?
last game of the season.
Last game,
so
yeah.
like you got Wolves at the last game of the season, and they have Villa last game of the season, but the opposite fixtures for both of us are going to be probably in the same night, like a couple of weeks before, because they'll be moved because of our FA Cup fixture.
Yeah, it's funny the way football works. Things like that happen all the time, I
Wolves,
guess,
the Birmingham, the Wolverhampton Birmingham area is going to decide where this title pretty much goes coming up to the end of the season, So, the good thing is, I don't know if City's one is away to the last game of the season. I know ours is a home game, so our Wolves game is a home game. Last game of the season.
It is. That is at home. Yeah.
I have to check that out. There, we check the Premier League fixtures. What are you fixtures? There we go. So, just to kind of, I don't know if it's been rescheduled, and at the same time, even coming up to April, Wolves play Aston Villa. There's a load of shit that's happening, right? So postponed is Aston Villa Liverpool. So we're away to Villa, and in the last game of the season, we have
We've Wolves on the 22nd.
So City, so we're both at home. Liverpool and City are both at home. So on the 22nd of May at 4:00 kickoff, City will be at home against Aston Villa. Liverpool will be at home against Wolves.
Be great if you're at saying it, all right, wouldn't it? That'd be like we'd have to give him a league title if you got the right result for us.
Just a big giant chocolate medal delivered to the party.
He can have what he wants, but he can have what he wants. He helps us out. But you know what? Do you know the way we're talking there about leagues and FA Cups and all that? What do you reckon are our genuine chances of the quadruple? Do you think it's something that can be seen through to the end?
Because of the fixtures and the way they're lying, the toughest one we're looking at now is the league.
Yeah.
Because of the fixture run in April. So it's the toughest one to win, but it's also the one that we've got the most momentum in.
Yeah.
So so for me, the league is a major. It's the one I want out of all of them, right? But we've got a favourable run in the Champions League as well.
Yeah,
and there's a real opportunity to win that, a real opportunity as well. And I just want to say, look, Liverpool Football Club, with the team that's there, they deserve to go on and do something amazing for once. If City have been dominant in the league over the past few seasons, in the last 10 years, and we're the only ones now to really put in a challenge to them in the last few seasons, then, call a spade. Without City's money, Liverpool will win Liverpool would be winning that league every single year because of the points difference to everybody else. But because now they've established themselves, because they've got Pep, because they've got the money backing behind them whenever they want it, it's made it competitive with us. But it's like a rivalry based on, like, would I wish it was United up there battling us every year?
Yeah.
I'd want to beat them every year, fair and square, with that kind of thing. They're a club that's in debt. They still spend the money, but they're a club that's massively in debt. City have no fucking debts. Their debts are washed.
Moral debts.
Yeah. So that I'd want to see that, but we have a massive chance, Kev, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think we have a better chance of winning the quadruple than what City had over the last few seasons when they were involved. I think that they they're going to have a big say on what we do in 2 competitions and
Mm.
possibly a third.
Yeah.
So it could come down to just us beating them
Yeah.
when to really cement on it. Because I think for me the winner of that semi final between Liverpool and City goes on to win the FA Cup. I think
Absolutely. Absolutely.
the winner of the game in the league game, no matter even if we have United
Goes on
or
to win the league.
goes on to win the league, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
because it's a massive momentum boost, like a
Huge. Absolutely
massive,
huge.
and and also I think you know I think we've a really good chance of reaching the Champions League final. And then
100%.
not
Yeah.
care. Once we're in the final, we're a different animal completely. Like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I would say like that City can be a great animal in the league, and other teams can have their say. But Liverpool in Europe are a completely different beast when they hit a final.
100%.
It's the pedigree, you know, the all of these teams who are on that left hand side would have rather
Mm.
met each other coming into that final rather than have to win and face us. So no
Oh
matter
yeah.
what, they have to
I'd
get through
agree
each
with that.
other.
Like, yeah.
They have to get through each other and then face us in the final if we get to the
Yeah.
final. You know, and
Yeah.
and and that's the whole point. I can't see why we shouldn't. I think we're a better football inside than the other 3 teams that are involved in
Mm.
in our side, and we should do it. Now we could have like a shock like Benfica did to us in
Of
2006.
course. Yeah.
You know,
Anything can happen. Yeah.
you know, we've already met Villarreal and we've knocked them out of a semi-final going in against to take on Sevilla, and we lost that final. But that was at the
Mm.
start of Klopp. So Klopp was there
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
6 months at that stage. So it's a different animal, Kev. We're a different animal, and I think we have the best opportunity out of any of the teams in the last 20 years to win a
Mm.
quad, just because of the run we have, just because we know our obstacles that are standing in front of us right now. And it's not like down the line we might have to face this team. We have to face City right now in the semi cup or the semi final of the cup.
Yeah.
We have to face them in the league within a week or so before that. Um, we have once we get through that game, that'll be a big psychological boost going into the semi final. That decides whether they decide to come at us big time in the semi final and open up, and we can just catch them on
Mm.
the counter. So either way, winning that first game in the league game is is a massive boost to what happens to the rest of the
Huge. Yeah.
season. So we need to really that's away from home. That's our toughest game of the season coming up. It's away from home. That's it. The rest of them are all neutral. The rest of them are home. Um, even with the where we got so Man City. I'm trying to see where the Spurs one comes in for us. Liverpool
That's
United.
later on, isn't it?
That is later on. It's the third last game of the season, or fourth last, is it? So Liverpool, Everton, 24th. Um, Chelsea, where are we there? Newcastle then. So Newcastle's going to be a tough thing, but they could be
Oh yeah.
comfortable. They could actually be comfortable by then.
They
And
might take the
like I
foot
said,
off.
so the 7th of May we're at home. So that's the good thing about the remaining of fixtures that are pretty much deadly for us that you would say on paper. We have
Mm.
United at home, Everton at home, and Spurs at home.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
we've got rid of Arsenal away, which I thought was going to be really it was a tough fixture,
It
but
was.
but
But we were
the
definitely the better team on the evening. You know.
absolutely. So I think going forward there's a we've the best chance in the last 20 years of a team to win the quad outside
Yeah.
that Barcelona team in 2010, I think,
Mm-hmm.
just because of the way the fixtures align for us. And just
Yeah.
because,
Yeah. Yeah.
once we've got that semi final out of the way, it's just league concentration pretty much up until
Mm.
a semi final. So we get rid of Man City or Man United and Everton. And then it's probably either side of Newcastle you're looking at taking on either one of Bayern and Villarreal,
Yeah.
and it's kind of so, there's a massive opportunity for where the specialists pop in there
There's
of
huge, and the one thing I would say is that like when you think back even just a couple of months ago, if and sometimes we don't like talking about these things saying if we win the quadruple or whatever kind of sounds blasé, but obviously
yeah,
it's never been done before. But like if we do, or even the league, right? Even if we win the league, there's something I don't know. Sometimes you get like a sense in the air that something
yeah,
special is going to happen. It
yeah,
reminds me of like big seasons that
mm,
Liverpool have had in the past and things like that, or even the year that United won the triple in
mm,
'99. There was something in
yeah,
the atmosphere about that season for them, I suppose. And
mm,
Arsenal were their great rival around that time as well. But I get that feeling at the moment. I think if you, as I said, go back a couple of months, where we were, the points gap behind City, the fact that we've come back now
yeah,
and we're just a point behind, we could be top of the table by the time they play
yeah,
in the league again.
yeah,
And then when you look at like the signing of Luis Diaz, the return of
yeah,
Harvey Elliott, all the players getting fit, And then our luck in the draw of the Champions League in particular, we know what's going to happen in the FA Cup or in the semi-finals there. For me, and I might be too optimistic, I don't know, it just feels like everything, the stars are aligning in the right direction for us. So yeah, based on that, I would fully agree that we have a massive, massive, massive opportunity to create history and win the quadruple, or at least go very close.
Yeah, like I didn't even take into the factor of, like, I'm so in the momentum buzz of what Liverpool are doing right now, right? Yeah, they might have looked a bit jaded in the last couple of games, but they're still getting results. This is a
Great
sign of
sign.
champions,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So
yeah.
they're still growing up results. We're still getting them. But like even what you said there, I know they said it was like 14 over a week, but there was a point where we were 16 points behind City.
Yeah,
Like, even
yeah,
for a
yeah,
couple of
yeah.
days or something like that, even for a day or so. But that's the highest amount that we've been behind, and it was 14 over a game period. To call that back from 14 points to 1, and with the opportunity, as you said, don't beat Watford, right? Beat Watford in the next game, which is at Anfield, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
Just to make sure of
2nd
that.
of April.
2nd of
Yeah.
April at Anfield. Yeah, because I'm just supposed to be going over that one. And they beat them at Anfield. We're on top of the league.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Like, it is amazing. I don't care what anybody says, because I really had my doubts a little while back, and I was like, there's no way this City team are a machine.
Yeah.
There's no way are we going to crawl it back. And then just little bits and pieces. The sign of Luis Diaz, I did not fucking see that coming at all. I didn't see him slotting straight into the team the second he got there. I didn't see the effect that would have on the players around him. I didn't see all these players. It was like overnight they started rising from the dead. All these lads that were injured with niggles here and niggles there. Everybody got fit at the same time. And you're like, hang on, something's happening here. Like, you know what I mean? That
And
momentum is gone.
Joel Matip turned into the goat.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Fucking Franz Beckenbauer, Matip, the Kaiser, as I like to call him. Yeah, I mean, like, unbelievable. He's making Virgil look bad.
That's, you know, and Virgil hasn't set a foot long. He's been fantastic.
Yeah,
but just
he's been
Matip is just like gone up.
Yeah,
and now
yeah.
I can literally say it, because Diaz was brilliant last year for City, but I can literally say it, for me, he's after winning. Matip is the first, is only the second defender since, well, and Van Dijk, since 2013 to win a Defender Player of the Month award. So
it's amazing.
It's ridiculous. So now we literally have the two best central defenders in the league, sitting there.
Absolutely.
With an Ibu Kanata who doesn't put a foot
wrong.
Gomez. And Gomez, who's probably the fastest.
Gomez is someone I rate so highly.
Savage.
I think he's fantastic, and he's sitting there. And no, I know he played replaced Trent the other night, but like, what a player! Like, for me, he's like particularly when he was playing for us regularly, I thought he's one of the best young defenders in the world. You know, and he's still young. There's so much time for him yet.
He's only had, how would I say, one-off injuries. He hasn't had like repetitive injuries. So he's broken a foot, he's broken an ankle, he's been physically injured by other players that caused the injuries, but never had reoccurrences, if you get me. So he's not like Naby Keita or Daniel Sturridge or any of these players that pick up knocks all the time. And they have ankle issues as they go along. They're tearing off the muscles and the bone. These are ones that reoccur. Poor Daniel Sturridge's thigh and shin was just bait all the time, you know. So he was pretty much a sick note, but fantastic footballer.
Correct.
But he's never had this. He's even the doctors say he's physically a great specimen of a player to play. He's just been injured or taken out by other players.
Yeah. And look, he's still very young, so he's got plenty of time, that lad, as well. Plenty of time.
And Dijk doesn't pick up injuries either. The only time he was taken out was when taken out by Pickford. These are the things you look at, you know. Salah had a slight injury that went on for about 2 days, healed instantly, and he was back playing again. And at that stage he looked kind of a bit tired coming up to those last couple of games. But then he came on, was it 2 games ago? And he looked brilliant again.
Yeah, he's like Robocop, that fella.
What the fuck he's eating, man?
His fitness levels are unbelievable. Like, come here, tell me this much. So we're feeling optimistic at the moment. We're going for the quadruple and everything else. Do you just want to touch briefly on the FA Cup match there on Sunday v Forest? What did you make of it? For me, I thought it was fantastic. It was like a proper good old-fashioned FA Cup game, wasn't it?
That was as old-fashioned FA Cup game as you could have got.
Yeah.
And it was let run as well. So if you're used to the referee for letting run,
the ref was yeah.
So if you're used to pass him, he left it run and left it go on, and There wasn't. I don't think there was an instant use of VAR. Or so they did. They used it once.
There was
It
a
was the previous.
dodgy offside, they said, and a dodgy penalty. But for me,
It was the
the
dropped
goal
offside.
was
Yeah,
onside, and it was
yeah,
definitely not a penalty either
yeah.
because he was looking for it, in my opinion. You
Yeah,
know?
he was. He was. It was the game previous to that where they said there was no VAR incidents. That's what I think of the Liverpool game.
Oh,
So
right,
yeah,
okay.
the zero VAR incidents in that game we looked at. So yeah, look, man, Forest, they if they win all their games in hand, they're pretty much battling
They're looking
Blackburn
good, yeah.
for that third spot or second. You know, they can be up into third really in the playoffs. So
Do you know,
I'd like to see Blackburn coming back up mainly because my cousin supports them since he was a
right.
baby, and but also you know
They should call social workers for that poor fella, for
and
God's sake.
yeah, there's a few, but but you know, plus it's close to Liverpool. Don't have to do much traveling.
Yeah,
Blackburn's a
yeah,
handy
yeah.
game to go to if you've got a European Cup night coming up or
Yeah,
something like that,
yeah,
you know.
absolutely.
So you know, it's just an hour and a bit down the road or something like that. So like you want as many northern teams in it as possible. So which is why like as much as I like seeing Brentford coming up and all of that, I couldn't be. I'd like these Brentfords and Bournemouths and stuff like that. They can kind of fuck off back down to the next leagues and just leave them there. It's nice to see them come up, but just leave them go down there because it's just less traveling, you know, to do
Yeah,
down that
yeah.
country. Just a few northern teams I know to come up. Forest mid country team handy to come up. Let them replace your Brentfords and your Watfords and your things on the way
It
down.
was good to see Forest playing like that. It
It
was
was.
good. It was good, like to play at the City Ground again. The
Yeah,
atmosphere was good.
yeah,
Their fans were mad up for it.
yeah.
Like in fairness, you know, and it reminded me of games that we used to play against Forest back in the 80s as well. Because you forget, like I know in terms of size and
Mm.
stadium and support and things like that, they're not the biggest club in the world, but they have a fantastic
Yes,
history, I
right.
should say, particularly with like the European Cup
Two
wins
two wins.
and
Yeah,
Brian Clough being there, and you know all these great things that they did in the past. You know,
yeah. I like
so
the,
I think if they do come up, that would be fantastic for English football as well.
I like seeing some of the old guard teams come back up,
Mm,
right? So I like seeing your like when I seen Villa going down, West Ham going down, Newcastle going
yeah,
down, you know, Forest going down. It's like these teams have to be back up. You know,
yeah,
they have to be in the top tier league to be doing that to be battling. You know, I'm never too bothered about all the Fulhams and all of that kind of being left down there in these leagues because they're just not. They're just there's no you know them and even Crystal Palace sometimes they're kind of teams that kind of suit the championship
yeah,
a bit better with the fan base and stuff. Because most of the time, we all know this, lads. You know, it's called a spade a spade. When Crystal Palace get knocked down, they become United and Arsenal fans. They even the amount of videos that are online of them saying that, you know what I mean, is just ridiculous. So, but they're a great club and all that. I don't want to knock half of you that are handy enough as supporters down there. But like, we get it. But I'm just talking. But I do enjoy Palace being up there now. I think I enjoy what Vieira is doing right now, and I think he's
yeah. He's
making them a better
looking
club.
good.
So, but yeah, I think it's great to have these one-offs come up like your Brentford and these. It's brilliant to see Leeds back up in the league. I wanted to
100%.
stay
Yeah.
there. It'd be just funny to see Everton go down for a season or two, and
Oh,
then
do you
just
know what? At this stage, I want them to go down.
yeah, they just you know just be left. Just take away the annoyance of a Merseyside derby and make it a spectacle
Mm,
when it happens. You know, get them in the
yeah,
cup or something like that. It'd be just good to see. You know, that they can't be just blaming us for fucking everything that goes wrong with them, like you know. And but it'd be just
they'll
nice to see
find
them
a
go down.
way. They'll blame us over Rafa going in there or whatever. Or there's something will happen. Yeah.
It'll be
I
something.
never wanted them to go down. Do you know?
Nah,
I never minded
nah.
them, but now I'm like, fuck
Yeah,
them.
yeah. They're not. They're just yeah.
Mm.
They get rid of their managers too quickly. They don't give them
Yeah, I
time.
think the way they treated Rafa, oh my god, I just cannot get over the stupidity of that. Like, you know, that's no, that's like that's it. That's the reason I want them to go down because of the way they treated
And to
Rafa.
replace
I'm
him with
like,
Frank
adios,
Lampard of
Fat
all
Frank.
people. I don't know.
Mm,
Yeah, and we can't even say that these days. No, we can't even say Fat Frank because of all the woke people
I'll
up there.
say it,
We can't say the
Fat
word.
Frank.
Can't say the word fat anymore, as if
I
it
think
doesn't
you can say
exist.
it if you're kind of fat yourself.
So
I'm kind of fat, so
I'm kind of
Fat Frank.
semi-fat. But like, yeah,
Semi-fat. We'll call him semi-fat Frank. So
right, yeah. But like, yeah, like, look, these teams kind of. I just want to see your Nottingham Forest come up. I like seeing them coming up. I couldn't give a bollocks about
mm,
Fulham and all of that, and all of them. I like to see Blackburn coming up. I like to see teams that have a rich history. Like Coventry
yeah,
City is even another team you'd like to see kind of coming up because
mm,
they were teams that were like big there in the 90s that were
yeah,
around.
yeah,
Um, there was them. But yeah, still kind of small clubs. Your Norwiches and all that are going to go down.
yeah,
They're like Norwich is even though like up and it's still one of the biggest distances for Liverpool to go traveling when they're
yeah,
playing.
yeah. Jesus
So
Christ, it's mine. So
it's completely across the country. So I
East
know,
Anglia.
yeah, it's like for me. Are you like seeing Ipswich coming up? That's kind of a similar area. But like
Same place, huh?
Sunderland are another team that you'd like to see kind of coming back up. They kind of deserve to be around that kind of level, like, you know. So I would like to see just one season where it's all the old kind of guard, all in the league, and it's just the fixtures just look like pure silk rolling off the tongue. Like your Wolves are in there, your Villas are in there, your Derbies. You know, you have your Nottingham Forest in there, which can be
Yeah.
included in kind of that area as well. You
Yeah.
know, so you do like to see it happening. But anyway, that's enough. I'm blasé about
We can't
Forest.
get them all into one season.
I like Forest, you know, because they give a lot of Irish, including Keane, an opportunity to play over there, you know, in the 90s and
100%,
stuff
yeah.
like that. Same as Leeds in that time as well.
Mm.
You know, there's a few clubs over there that really look after, and you know, Liverpool and United have always had a history looking after Irish players, I know,
Yep.
and especially Everton as well. So I'd have to give them a mention in the bricks. But like, but like, look at for me, while we're sitting here anyway, Kev, who do you think is going to go down?
Uh, Norwich, anyway, obviously.
Mm,
I I'm hoping Everton. I think Leeds will stay up,
yeah,
and
they've
Burnley were
they've hit form at the right time, and
Burn.
they're 2 wins in a row.
Yeah, and again, like there was a time there where I thought Newcastle were in fierce danger, you know.
Yeah,
And there was like I'd be totally honest, there was a part of me thinking because of the whole money thing now, the way they are and stuff like that, I was kind of hoping they would go down for a season and have to work their way back up,
yeah.
like, you know. Uh, Burnley, Watford, you know. Um, yeah, I'd like everything
I
to go down. I don't know if it's going to happen, but yeah, Watford,
I,
Burnley, Norwich,
I
I
think
suppose.
Burnley will be okay. Sean Dyche has a way
You
of getting
think
them out
so?
of it in the last few games. Yeah, I think he pulls his magic where they turn into shithouseries. In that, like, I don't know what their fixtures are coming up, but I know
Yeah.
Everton's are absolutely dire.
Well, put it
They're
this way: if
fucking
I could get
awful.
Burnley to stay up and Everton to
Man
go down,
City,
I'd be happy with that.
we when we play Watford, Man City are away to Burnley. But
Jesus.
we've always said that like Burnley are a pushover team for City, but he's lost 3 in a row now. He can't let it go, and he needs to get a result. So even if he gets a draw against City, it's a momentum boost. So
Might
Burnley, yeah,
happen.
Burnley have also got Everton 4 days after that. Burnley have Norwich
Mm,
4 days after that. So they can tell that, you know, Burnley could save themselves. They could drop everything down even no matter what the result. If they get a result against City, I can see them going on and doing damage because they're at home against City, they're at home against Everton, but they're away to Norwich, and I can still see them
playing
going
everything
away.
well.
Yeah, so you know,
Jesus.
and winning all those teams there. There's a Watford Burnley game on the 30th. Um, the last game of the season for them is Burnley Newcastle. You know,
Burnley. No. Oh,
so
okay. Okay.
so you know so I think Newcastle will be kind of fairly safe
They
by
will
then.
be safe. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, so that like that for me is that's why I think they'll get out. They've also got 2 games in hand on Watford. They've 3 games in hand on Leeds and Brentford.
Have
But
they 3 games in hand over
yeah,
them?
but they're 8 points behind Leeds and Brentford.
Hang on there.
So
I'm actually going to look this up. So they're okay. So they're level on games with Everton,
they're
right?
level on game with Everton. That's why I'm thinking it's between Burnley and Everton to go down.
Yeah. So it's Everton, Watford, Burnley, Norwich.
I think
So
I think
yeah.
I think Watford and Norwich are done.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Okay.
Yeah, no, 100%. So it's Everton and Burnley. So,
Mm.
oh my
Yeah.
God, that's so interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's
Yeah,
Everton
so
Burnley.
I'll be supporting Burnley. So,
If Brentford, because Brentford did get 2 wins in a row and then the last again, so they've been doing stuff. Leeds have got 2 wins in a row, so they could actually, you know, survive. I know Newcastle, like
yeah,
they won the previous 5 or something, they lost the last 2. You
yeah,
know, I like their their running is like they're okay. So they're away to Spurs. Then they have the Wolves, Leicester, Palace, Norwich. Then they have us, right? So coming up to them,
mm,
they've got a run of games that they could actually win for the way they're playing
yeah,
recently.
yeah.
But they've got us and then City in a row as well.
Dodgy,
So they'll
dodgy,
want to
dodgy.
win one of those. They're at home against us, so they'll put on an effort. We just need to get a result there, but then they could go with the City and put on pressure. Then they have Arsenal and then Burnley last game of the season. So, you know, they have tough games where teams are going to win things or are trying to
Mm,
win things around them. But there's a gap between now and then that
mm.
there's teams that are just in the middle of the tier, like your Leicester, Southampton, your Crystal Palaces, you know, that are kind of in a safe place at the
Mm.
moment. So, you
So,
know,
are
that's
you going for Everton to go down instead of Burnley? So,
I just want to see them go down and shut them up for a season. You know, they'll
that's
probably come
fair enough.
straight back up. But
I do.
I think that Burnley will survive. I think Leeds will survive, Newcastle will
Yeah.
survive, and I think it's between. I think Norwich and Watford will go down, and I think it's between Burnley, Everton, and Brentford for the other slot.
Yeah.
You know, I
I.
know,
Do you
I
know
know,
what?
I know Brentford are there, but if Burnley were to win, like if Brentford lose their games, if Burnley get any results out of the 3 games in hand, they're right up behind Brentford. But they would have to win
Yeah.
3 of those games, and they do have to play Norwich, Watford, Everton, Newcastle. So they could win easily 3 of those and pull up, and that brings Brentford right into the danger zone right now.
Mm.
So I wouldn't say the Watford are a danger to Brentford right now because they're on 29 games. There's only a game in
No,
hand, and
Watford or
they
snooker, they'd say.
not Watford are pretty much that. Yeah, they're fuckers. So I think it'll be Norwich bottom, Watford 19th, and I'm kind of hoping there's 4 point gap though between Everton and them, but it's Everton's fixtures, Kev. Their
I
fixtures are
know.
ridiculously bad. Like they have West Ham, right, and
Mm.
Burnley, right. Then they have United, Crystal Palace, Leicester City, Liverpool, Chelsea. Is Leicester again? Oh, that's been moved. Why does it say Leicester City twice? Why does it say Leicester City twice?
I don't
That's been moved.
know.
Yeah, it says Leicester City twice. Uh, Brentford and Arsenal. They like a savage run of games coming up that
Mm.
that are for survival. I mean,
Tough run, tough
Leicester's
run.
the only one that's in there for nobody going for anything.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, why the fuck that's there twice? Is they have them on the 20th of April and they have them again on the 7th of May? It doesn't make any sense. Leicester and Everton. So I don't know why that's a bit off, but I know they've harder games than that. But their running was ridiculous because they had
Mm.
they had Man City, Spurs, Wolves that they lost to. They had Newcastle that they barely beat, even though they went out to 10 men again, 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
But like the Watford game was postponed. They still have Watford. They still have um Crystal Palace that beat them 4-0 in the cup.
Mm.
It's just they've such a tough run of games in
Yeah. Yeah.
comparison to the other teams that are around them. So I can't see where they're going to get the enough points to stay out of there
Well,
without Burnley catching up enough. So
as I said, I hope they go down, and
yeah,
that's it.
because
It's the
Leeds,
first time I've ever said it. Like I
yeah,
couldn't give a fuck what happens to them after the way they treated Rafa. I would
yeah,
happily say goodbye to them out of the league
like Leeds
and
have
out of Merseyside.
Leeds have a couple of tough games coming up as well. Chelsea, City, Arsenal still to go in the league, but
Mm.
also around those areas they have Southampton, they have Watford, they have Crystal Palace, they have Brighton, and they have Brentford. So they,
Yeah.
they can
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
can possibly get 11 points out of all of the games that are remaining from the remaining games. That
Mm.
that would make them safe, so because that's to get to the 40 mark.
Mm.
So
Mm.
there's a possibility of them getting it. But I think there's no longer a 40 mark threshold for teams to bypass. There's so many teams now battling down there.
Yeah.
I think the
Yeah. Yeah.
40. I think it's like down to like 36 points or 30. Once you get to
Well,
that kind of area, you're kind of okay. You
yeah.
know?
Yeah. 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 Like Leicester
Yeah.
on 36, aren't they? And they're
Yeah.
10th in the table at the minute.
Yeah.
So if you can get up around there and you still have a couple of games to go, I think you're
Yeah.
grand then, as you said.
I think even down to 34 is where it is. I think Palace are safe that way. Brighton looks safe, 29 points compared
Mm.
to anybody who's down below them. Yeah, I think Newcastle are okay, even though like
Oh,
even
I've no fear of Newcastle anymore. Like I think they'll be
yeah,
totally fine.
like they're
Like
10 points clear of Burnley, which
yeah,
would be in the 17 points there, and there's only even though there's like 2 games in hand, that would still be like
yeah,
4 or 5 points of a difference. So yeah, I know. But okay, that's pretty much it. Like we've covered pretty much the FA Cup. We've covered the Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we've covered our league hopes and dreams for the quads as well. On top of it, the old quad. One trophy in already because I don't think we've
Yeah,
done a proper video since we got the first trophy in.
possibly
Um,
not.
um, so one trophy in, three to go. There's like fucking
Fingers crossed.
15 cup finals.
But look, isn't it great? It's like the time Bill
It's just
Shankly once said, "Here we are with all our problems on top of the league."
yeah.
Do you know what I
There you
mean?
go.
We're not quite on top of the league, but we will be soon enough.
Beat Watford. We're kind of condemning them in that way as well. Beat them, top
Good.
of the league, going in, and then we only have to worry about City having to pull off because at the moment they were playing before us. They were having to do results. The results they've been fucking up results, and we've
Mm.
been just going on about our business. Next game, next game, next game. We keep to that mindset Because did you see the thing about Bernardo Silva? He wasn't even asked the question about Liverpool.
Yeah, and he started talking about
He
Liverpool.
just started talking about Liverpool, which means
Yeah, I
we're
did.
right there, man. They're watching everything. They're on every media channel. They're watching everything on TV, Liverpool or not. They're sitting there
Yeah.
and they're just like on the glance and saying, "Oh, he's fucked over." You know, but who
I
gives a
tell you
shit?
this much. Right?
Yeah.
Whether it's City,
Mm.
Bayern Munich,
Yeah.
any other team
Mm.
in the Premier League or in
Yeah.
world football, nobody wants to face Liverpool at the
They
moment.
don't. That's it. You know,
Do you know
that's
what I
what I
mean?
think. That's the way it is. But look, as they have the FA Cup league fixtures all kind of done up for Liverpool. But you know, we've a few coming up now. For us going forward. You know, obviously we have Watford next in the league. We can go on top of the league by that stage before City play their game against Burnley. Then we have Benfica, right? We have away and home. If we can do the job away, then the home fixture I think is it's home second leg
Yeah.
in a European Cup quarter final. You know, and I think you know you go in, you do the business in Benfica, which we've done already. You know, against you know Portuguese opposition, like Portugal favours.
Oh yeah.
Luis Diaz loves this.
100%. Yeah, Luis
It's
Diaz is there. Yeah.
you know, and we've beaten their best teams over there this season. So, for me, Benfica. Then the big game against City is on the April 10th, where we'll have to do some sort of meet up and watch along for that. If you
Oh yeah,
that,
100%.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I try and do some big setup here where we have a big couch and something to watch and you drinks in front of
Yeah.
us if I can do something like that. Then you know the Benfica away game. So the Aston Villa game is obviously going to be postponed because we've got City again after Benfica. So it's City, Benfica, City. And then you know there's a couple of testy and tasty affairs coming up. If we were to win the league in the running that we have now, right? And if we were to win the Champions League and do something with that, even at least a treble or something like that, in the running that we have now, when you still say it to me that I have Man City away, United, Everton at home, Spurs at home, and then coming up and still win the league with the running in
That would be
comparison to
amazing.
City, that's
amazing.
And being on the same week's point, about 16 to 14 points behind, is still the biggest capitulation that would be.
And you're beating what many pundits and experts would call Manchester City the greatest Premiership team of all time. That's what they say. And if we beat them and if we do all these things, then surely Jurgen Klopp and that Liverpool team have to be considered one of the best ever. I already think they are, but let's go out and prove it now.
Yeah, that's the whole point. We need to do it now. We need to go. We need to take over the league. We need to win number 20. Then we need to go and win number 21. And then we have to push on ahead and you know leave that behind. You know, it took United 65, 70 years to catch us in league titles. You know, it's taking us like 7 to take it back.
When did they win it? 2013?
2013.
Yeah, it's the last one, yeah.
8 years so to take it back, even though we had a gap of 30 years not winning it. So no, that's gone.
I think no, go on, what are you gonna say?
That's gone. That's what I think is gone. You know, we're still not the longest to go without league titles. United still have the top two in that with Everton and 41 years and 33 years and 33 years both of them consistently. You know, so and Everton's have added to that now. So we're not. So our 30 years is a drop in the ocean compared to the length of time that they went without league titles. So now that's done. That talk of 30 years can no longer be heard from them because at the moment the longest to go of a major club to go without league title is United in 41 years. You know what I mean? So
I thought Chelsea were 52, weren't they?
Chelsea were 52, but that was before they were even considered.
True.
And Man City.
True.
Would you really go? You would say Liverpool, Arsenal, Everton, United were always considered the top big four, you know, in the league. And then after that, you would have your Arsenals, your Chelseas, your Chelseas, your Spurs, your Aston Villas, and all of that kind of thing. If you were considering
yeah.
But like, out of all of these teams that are like rivals, I would say they're the longest to go without it. If I started including Leeds and all of that, you know, so they're back in 1990. Yeah, you know? So 1981. But like for me, we have a chance, you know, to go on and win a quadruple. Very good chance. And I said, you know, long may it continue. Let's fucking go for it. Let's just go. Let's go for the jugular. Use the squad. The squad has been getting so many games over different competitions recently that we have every opportunity to use them and utilize them where we can. So when Salah wasn't playing well, we were able to, you know, we were able to take him off. We were able to bring on somebody like a Diaz and of Bobby. Bobby came on the other night and changed the game. You know, with Diaz, you know, it's ridiculous. Like the options that we have, and we started off with the front three that we
5 of them there now. There's 5 of them. Like Like,
5
there
legit
is
good players.
not a better forward line in the entire world. I don't care what anybody
And
says.
you add Harvey Elliott to that, coming in for more or
Yes,
something like that.
yes,
And,
yes, yes.
you
And
know,
even Origi is there on the bench as a different option as well.
and he's
do you know what I
a
mean?
like we could be fucking nil all in the 89th minute, and Origi will
Mm.
come up and score with the back of his shoulder. You know,
In
he's
his
that kind
pajamas.
in his pajamas. That's the kind of player that he is, and you know, everybody's talking about him leaving at the end of the season, and you know, fair fuck to him, you know, I hope he goes off and has a good career somewhere else, because he deserves it. But at the same time, you're still looking for a replacement for Origi. By looking for another Origi to come on, because I don't think I've seen anybody ever so happy to be just sitting on the bench and then coming off and then doing his thing, like, you know.
No,
There's
he's
nobody else there.
unbelievable.
He's been there for years now with us, and he's you know, he's a legend for me because of the stuff that he's done for us
100%,
when we needed him. So, you know, he's our kind of modern David Fairclough, if you want to call it that way. That's if David Fairclough is a legend, this guy is voice over a legend for the European Cup he's won for us, and the ties that he's won for us, the league title goals that were exceptionally won. You know, think of the one back to Newcastle and all. You know, it's just
Champions League, the whole lot.
Everything there. But look, I think that's it for this week, because we're rambling on again, and I think, you know, I think we're getting shorter with the old podcast. Yeah,
I don't know.
I
don't time these things.
I just feel like, is there anything else to talk about? No, okay, so we're done.
Nah, not at the minute. I have to go to work anyway.
So you're going to talk, Jesus Christ. So lads, for myself, also Kevin, and
me, Kevin, also.
We are the Kitmen. We'll see you for the next watch along, which will more likely be, if I'm not over for the game, it'll be Watford.
April the 2nd.
We get off for that one on April the 2nd. And we'll see you then for the big one after, the big couple after that, which is Benfica and City. So we'll be living in Liverpool land for the next month or so. It's a very hard month ahead for us. The toughest probably in our history to go through, with the fixture list that's there and the opponents that we have in every competition, while we're going on for the quadruple. Come on, you Redmond. All right,
get up them steps.
Get up the steps.
Peace out.
Look. The Kitmen!